right, this begins week 7 quiz, and starting with number 1, Chloe, Jonathan, Sean, and Tabitha are electing a leader, excuse me, for their chemistry lab group. Each member was ranked their preference, or has ranked their preference from 1 to 4 as shown on the ballots at the right. A ranking of 1 indicates a person's first choice and for leader, and 4 indicates the person's last choice. So based upon this, if a person who got the most 1s is the winner, who was it? Well, Tabitha has 1, and that's all for first place. Sean has 1 down here, so he has 1, 1. Jonathan has 2, and Chloe has none. So based upon this one, if the person who scores a 1 wins, or the most 1s win, then the answer would be Jonathan. Alright, well, let's say a different counting method was used. A person gets 3 points for each 1, 2 points for every 2, 1 point for every 3, and 0 for every 4. Alright, well, if we look at it that way, then we would say, let's go to the right here. I'll use this. Okay, we will say Chloe got a 2, a 2, a 2, and a 2. That's her place that she got, which means a 2, she gets 2 points. So I might as well just add these together. 2, 4, 6, 8 points for Chloe. Jonathan received a 4, a 1, a 1, and a 4. Now, here we have to be more careful, because a 4 is worth 0 points, and a 1 is worth 3 points. So if we add those up, we have 6. Alright, Sean scored a 3, a 4, a 3, and a 1. So if you look at his points, a 4 is 0, we know that. A 1 is 3 points, and a 3 gets 1 point. One plus 0 plus 1 plus 3 is 5. And Tabitha scored a 1, a 3, a 4, and a 3. So again, we get, a 3 is worth 3 points, a 4 is worth 0, and a 3 is worth 1. Three, 4, 5. So based on this scoring method, Chloe would be the winner. Okay, and that is the answer for C. The answer for B was just to say how many points did each person get. Chloe got 8. Jonathan got 6. Sean got 5. And Tabitha got 5. Number 2. Decide opposite a 20-degree angle in a right triangle measures 18 inches. So we're given the information that it's a right triangle. Alright, decide opposite a 20-degree angle, so say it's this one, is 18 inches. What's the length of the side adjacent to the 20-degree angle? Now both of these sides are adjacent, but this angle, this side right here, is called the hypotenuse. So we cannot call that adjacent also. Adjacent would be this one. Hypotenuse is always called the hypotenuse. So what is the length of that side to the nearest inch? Well, this is a trig question. We have, from this angle, we are given the side opposite it, and we're wondering about the side adjacent to it. And if you remember SOHCAHTOA from a previous question, tangent is the side that gives us opposite and adjacent ratios. So tan of 20 equals opposite over adjacent. The best way to handle this one is to make it a proportion. Now I'm going to use a graphing calculator to show you how to calculate this. The units are in degrees, so we want to make sure that our calculator is in degrees. So I push mode, and I notice that degree is highlighted. So now I'm going to take and cross multiply. So 18 times 1 is 18. So 18 times 1 divided by tangent 20 degrees. So round to the nearest inch would give us 49 inches. Which is C. Number 3, what are the solutions, if any? Well, to solve this, to get rid of that square, we would root both sides, and this is an equal sign, and that will give us x minus 5 equals, the square root of 0 is 0. We add 5 to it to solve for x, and the answer is 5. So G, only 5 is the answer. Number 4, which statement could describe an attempt to mislead using data? Lane chose a very large sample from the population. Large sample is always good for finding out information, so that's okay. Lane used different widths for the bars on the graph. That could be a problem. We'll come back to it. Lane reported both the mean and the median, so when you do both, that's pretty clear and transparent to the reader. There's not trying to hide anything. And D, Lane chose a random sample from the population. Random sample is what you want for any sample. Okay, so different widths is the problem here. So if I gave you a bar graph and here's two bars and you're going to compare them, they have the same width, but let's say that you wanted to make one look bigger, same height, but you make it wider, makes this one look more important. That is an attempt to mislead. So B. Number 5, at the narrowest point, the distance across Minnesota is 1 mile more than half the distance across the state at its widest point. The sum of these distances is 538 miles. What is the distance across Minnesota at its narrowest point? We have two equations here. The sum of these distances, so I'm going to say x plus y equals 538. That's the sum of the two distances. And then they say that the distance across Minnesota, I'm going to just say x arbitrarily, I could say y equals, but I'm going to say x, is 1 mile more than half the distance across. So I'm going to say 1 mile more than half the distance across. Okay? Now, I'm going to get rid of this fraction. I could write 0.5, but I'm going to approach this differently. I'm going to multiply the whole equation by 2. We've talked about this before also, The 2 will create a new equation if I distribute, and the new equation will not have a fraction. 2 times 1/2 is 1, so I'm just going to write y. Now, I'm going to bring x and y to the same side. Even though they are not like terms, I want to write this as if it was in standard form. Now it is. Now I'm going to go back to the original equation, the first one, which is x plus y equals 538. And this is set up for elimination. Y's, if I add them vertically, cancel, and I get 3x equals 540. Divide by 3. 540 divided by 3 is 180. That is our solution. So 180. And we are done.